Hello and welcome back to Bobbin's Minecraft Let's Play, featuring the Hoarder's Delight mod pack by Nicole BW. I'm Bobbin and you're watching episode 14. For decades now, men have been asked the question, Ginger or Marianne? I'm not really going to go into any detail on that question today. For one thing, all right-thinking people know that the answer is Marianne, but I am going to answer a very similar question, broccoli or bacon? So I hold in my hand broccoli, and before me, amongst all the chickens and sheep, you see bacon. Let's take a look and see how this works out. Oh no, bacon is holding out well, but broccoli is taking no damage at all. Oh, it doesn't look good for bacon. Ah, well kids, I'm sorry to report it looks like in the death match between broccoli and bacon, broccoli wins. So, with that little bit of nonsense out of the way, let's take a look at what quests are in progress. This is actually a new one that I'm working on. It's 54% done, which is partly because it's been a while since I've actually made one of these videos. I skipped a day. Also because most of the stuff is already made and it's just assembling pretty quickly. The chaos cookies are now being made by the machine that was making the chocolate sprinkles cakes. Surprisingly, chocolate chip cookies in this game don't have any sugar in them. So they're not really bottlenecked by sugar. I have all the materials on hand, so that one's 55% done. But that's not what we're going to turn in. So looking here, there are 2 quests with unclaimed rewards, and hunting them down. One of them is in hunting foods. It's the pina coladas. Well, let's turn that one in. And in the reward bag, what did we get? Looks like blocks of diamond, iron, gold, and emerald. We also got some ender seeds. These are not automatable by any of the machines in this pack that I've been able to tell. I might eventually do something with them using pistons and vacuum hoppers or something like that. I'm not quite that desperate yet, so I'm probably not going to do that just anytime soon. The other one is creeper seeds. These are for gunpowder. I don't think we're going to need gunpowder on that scale anytime soon. We might. And then there's this VCO hoe. I'm not really sure what this does. It says 8 extra essence from Vinicio crops. Well, I'm not harvesting any manually, so I'm not going to get that. And it's a nice hoe. I don't have my hoe from extra utilities because I lost it in the crash when I recovered, and I've just never cheated it back in. There was no real need to. So returning to the quest journal, the other quest that is ready to turn in, I think, is in hoarding blocks. Yes, it's holidays, which has been completed for a little while now. Let's go ahead and turn this one in as well. So we now have no quests that are completed. But checking the progress on the various others, in hoarding food, we have, you've already seen chocolate chip cookies. That one's in progress. I don't think any of the others are in progress right now. Oh yeah, the cola sodas are. They're at 56%. They are waiting on sugar. Looking in hoarding energy, nothing is in progress there. Hoarding flowers, nothing is in progress there, but when we go up and look at the machines, there will be something to see on that one. Hoarding blocks, none of these are in progress except for canvas, which is at 39%. It depends on sugarcane, and all that's being taken by the cola soda right now, so there's no real progress on it. In hoarding stuff, diorite walls is at 50%. There actually is a recipe for diorite in here. It involves nether quartz. I'm not planning on using the recipe. I think that I will be able to complete the diorite walls just with quarrying to get other materials. The other one on here that's in progress is new or broken. It's at 50%. Clay is actually coming along pretty nicely. I don't see any progress ticking on. Okay, there's one. So this one's also in progress. And then if we go into Are You Out of Your Mind, nothing should be having anything submitted except for cobblestone, which is at -1% if I read that correctly. It's actually at 2.4%. I wonder why that says -1. I don't know. I hope that is not a harbinger of things to come. Gravel will soon start overflowing from its current storage, and it will go in there at that point as well. So at some point we will start to make progress on gravel. We might actually make progress on sand as well. That one is also nearing overflow on its storage, even though there's a lot more storage for it. So that's the current progress. Let's take a look at a couple other things here. In the world of agriculture, there are two bits of news to report. The first item on the ag report is that if you look at this cocoa field, you'll see there's no cocoa in it. I have actually turned off cocoa production. I haven't cleared the field yet, but I am going to be clearing this field and replacing it with sugar because I have now manufactured all of the cocoa that I need. Two other crops have been put in. One of them is this pig crop, which is making the bacon that I will not be making from the pigs you just saw me killing. This is going to be how I get my bacon. I think this will generate a whole lot less lag than an animal farm that's generating animals and slaughtering and all that kind of good stuff. There are some nice benefits to doing the animals, but I'm just not going to do it that way. I'm already having enough lag problems. The other crop that has been put in is all the way at the top. I put in a new field that's growing cotton. This is Natura cotton. Um, it is planted in an open field like this, at least more productive than the Harvest Craft cotton. You can't put it in a phytogenic insulator, and you can put the Harvest Craft cotton in one, so potentially that's an alternative way of getting cotton that might be a little more productive under some circumstances. I've been having energy shortages. I'm not going to do that right now. But this is producing cotton. The cotton is automatically being packaged up into wool, and then eventually I will be pulverizing the wool to make string. The reason for pulverizing the wool to make string rather than making the string directly from this cotton, which you can do, is that doing it that way you get 12 or you get 4 string per 9 cotton, whereas if you make string directly you only get 3 string per 9 cotton. As for how this farm is set up, it's actually pretty straightforward. It's got a harvester here. I actually don't have a planter. You can put a planter for this, and the planter will plant the cotton, but the cotton only needs to be planted once, and so I just planted it by hand. You could plant it with the planter and then remove the planter if you wanted, but I just never put one in there to begin with. Now, in the world of manufacturing, we are still making cola soda, and we are still making flower pots. Over here where I was making the diluted mana pools, though, all the diluted mana pools have been made. So the only thing left on the diluted mana pools now is the mana production and the dipping them all in a mana pool, at which point I will have the mana pool quest in progress. That quest requires 100,000 mana pools, and despite requiring 500,000 living rock, it's probably one of the easier of the quests on this page. So I will probably start this one right here, Pool Party, as soon as I actually start to do something with mana, which I'm probably not going to do until I finish all of my living wood and living stone production. At that point I'm going to break down the big towers out there. They will be out of the way and they won't be generating any more lag, and that will be nice. Other machines, stone hoes and axes. Pina coladas is done, so the box went blank there. So that's nice. And over here we have the machine making the chaos cookies. It used to be making sprinkles cakes. There are a couple of these hoppers here that are not used. The programming in the RedNet controller over here has been modified just a little bit so that those hoppers are not checked. So we have the items flowing in. The next thing on the agenda here for starting up a machine is this one right here, making broccoli mac. No broccoli mac is being produced yet because I have not assigned the quest. As soon as I do, we'll start to get broccoli mac ingredients in, and they will get put in these hoppers. One of the things that I've done between episodes here is I have set up some machines that are making intermediate ingredients: butter, cheese, and dough, all three of which are involved in making broccoli mac. So I'm actually going to be making the broccoli mac using two machines here, but there are another 8 cyclic assemblers over here that are making all of the other stuff that's needed for them. So if we look at this dough machine, it's taking water in here to make salt, and then it's taking wheat in here to make flour, and then it's sending salt and flour and water in here to make dough. What's actually happening to the finished product over here is the dough is going into these caches that store 100,000, but then it's just stopping. However, rather than taking and doing funny stuff to get this all into a single cache and stick it in the warehouse, or shipping this across the network, what I did on this one was I went ahead and hooked it up to the network on the pink network so that if I make something involving dough, it will draw automatically out of these caches. I don't have to move it around. And this machine will then fire up to refill these caches so that it always keeps 100,000, or it always tries to keep 100,000 in stock. If it's used faster than it's produced, then obviously it can't, but it will try to keep 100,000 in stock. When I get down to the last 100,000 dough that I need, and there are several recipes that require dough, which is why I've gone ahead and done it this way, then I will simply turn the machine off and use the last 100,000 of them. That's how I'm handling the dough. It's also how I'm handling the butter, because there are a lot of recipes that require butter. So this one is making butter right now. And you can see that this machine is active, and the reason for that is because butter is being drawn off of here to make the chocolate chip cookies. Cheese is the next one that I'm using here. Salt goes with milk, and so we're making cheese. So back over here at the broccoli mac machine, let's go ahead and start making broccoli mac. I'll come over here to hoarding food, pick the broccoli mac, select task, click here, and it's firing up and making the broccoli mac, which requires pasta, cheese, and broccoli. The broccoli is sitting in the warehouse already made. The pasta is being made by this machine next to it, which is using dough and butter and a mixing bowl to make pasta. And the cheese is coming from this machine right over here. So we're now making all of this stuff. Diorite walls, you've seen that machine before. It is still in progress as diorite comes along. So that is kind of what's going on here in the plant. I should mention that the power situation has been resolved at this point, at least temporarily. I put in another 20 dynamos, so I now have 140 dynamos running this base, and that is sufficient for the time being. Probably the next episode, there's going to be a little bit of a delay between this episode and the next one, because I really want to get started on moving the power production into the nether. I've got a facility set up there that I don't really have a facility set up, but I'm preparing a location for it, which I will show in just a minute here. That that's going to be where the new power plant goes. Removing the power plant from this building will probably help some with lag. I'm also going to delay between episodes to go ahead and finish the production of living wood and living stone, so that I don't have to deal with lag generated by those machines as well. That's probably going to take a little longer. I think I still need another 200,000 living wood and probably a similar amount of living stone. But once I get that made, I'll probably resume making episodes. It's probably going to be a couple of days, so there will be a break, and we'll go from there. The other thing that I wanted to show here was that I am consolidating the diluted mana pools into a single cache, and they'll go into the warehouse here, and that's just a simple matter of changing that to insert. And so they're being pulled out of these caches and put in this one that will hold all of them. So other stuff that's going on, really not that much new. Um, Making leeks here, wheat there, strawberries, that has not changed. One thing that has changed is I was doing broccoli here in this machine, and it's now making bell peppers. This one has been making spice leaf since the beginning. Other stuff, the chaos cookies are the last thing that need Technicolor essence, and I've got all of it that I need here, so I'm no longer making dye essence, and that is what that's where the pig crop went in. I also put redstone and skeleton in that field. This field is actually mostly redstone crop. It's got a quarter pig crop, a quarter skeleton crop, and half redstone crop. That should help a little bit with the redstone situation. One of the things I've got going on right now is I need tons of redstone and tons of glowstone. I've only got 86,000 redstone. I'm making better progress on glowstone, more than twice as much, but it's going to be one of those things I've got to make a whole lot more of both, and that field is one of the ways of doing that. Redstone also comes out of the ground, which is convenient. So that's what's going on with those crops. It is kind of funny. There was a comment about the amount of about the poor cow on the YouTube videos. The cow has actually now made enough milk to do half of the chaos cookies, all of the chocolate milkshakes. It looks like there's 100,000 butter and 100,000 cheese over there. It made enough for all the nachos. We've got 76,000 fresh milk in the warehouse here, and it's still going. So the cow has been very busy, and I will have to be deciding soon what the cow's fate will be after all the milk has been produced. That's still at least a couple of weeks away, I think, but hopefully there won't be any delays on that. We can figure out, will the cow be set free or will the cow become steak? So I'm here in the nether hovering over what used to be a lava lake. I've been pumping out a lot of lava to feed my thirsty power plant, and there are still places out here with lava if you go far enough away from the initial location, but lots of areas of just stone down here at the bottom. There's one of the two pumps that are currently working. I've got two working, not so much because one pump won't feed 140 dynamos. It will. A single one of these will definitely feed 140 dynamos. However, it tends to run out pretty quickly, and I want to have the other pump in place so that I don't have to come down here and change and move the pumps quite so often. So that one is pumping away over here. That's a slightly strange pattern it's got going there. I'm not sure why. There are a lot of interesting glitches that go on here when you're getting a lot of lag and you exit the game and return in and things are in sort of a partially done state. It's a little bit of a problem. Hopefully it doesn't mean anything that I have to deal with at some point. The other pump is way far away over here. I'm not even entirely sure where, but there's a lot of stone here where I've pumped out this lake. It's a big area. It's pumped out a lot of lava. There's that other pump way over here. So it doesn't look like there's any lava anywhere near it, but in fact, it can see lava that's on the other side of this wall of netherrack. The other thing that's going on in the nether is I am preparing a location for my new power plant, which is going to be in an area over here where all of this dirt is. A big structure like a nether fortress here that is made entirely out of dirt is suggestive that an ender quarry has been running, and in fact that is the case. I'm running 3 ender quarries right now, one in the deep dark, one in the overworld, and this one here in the nether right here. See what kind of progress we're making on this. We'll have to do it this way. 120,000 block scan. What I'm going to do with this is when it finishes digging out all of the nether related stuff, and you will notice that this does have an ender quarry pump upgrade so it can remove any lava blocks that it finds as well, is once it has done this, it will replace all of this with dirt. I'm then going to dig out the same area, which is a 3 chunk by 3 chunk area right now, and I will dig it out using a hole upgrade to remove all of the dirt. This will produce a ton of dirt that I can use towards the, I think, 400,000 or so dirt that I'm going to need to do the quests in the flowers section. And it will also leave a volume that has absolutely nothing in it. You'll notice that we are all the way up at the top bedrock layer here in the nether. I will have a 3 chunk by 3 chunk hole dug from bedrock to bedrock in the nether to do with as I please, and that's where I'm going to build my power plant. So that's going to conclude today's episode. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.